On Facebook Live, so every once in a while I'm talking to the phone here, but mostly I'm talking to you because I'm always impressed when people actually leave their houses. So thank you so much. Not that you're bad at home, but I'm more impressed with this group. So if we're comparing, they're winning. My name is Darren Collius, and I'm a facilitator with Excellence Seminars International. And tonight I'm going to be talking about one of our courses, which is called The Pursuit of Excellence. The Pursuit of Excellence is the first in a series of courses that works on you becoming the most excellent you can be. And if that sounds really vague, I'm going to try to explain it within an hour of what that could mean to you. It's our first course of 3 that work together as a series. And the pursuit works all by itself. So inside the Pursuit of Excellence, we're going to give you lots of tools to work with. It's a course, it's an experiential learning place to come and try things on. And see if what you're doing versus the new tools you learn, you get to decide what works better in your life. And with that, off you go. Some people want more. We have more. Some people want to run, go running. Some people want to run and then come back for more, you can do that. That's what we have available. This course has been around for about 40 years now. Hundreds of thousands of graduates throughout North America. It's offered 4 to 5 times a year in the Lower Mainland, Vancouver Island, Alberta, and in Washington State. Okay. What goes on in the 3-day course called The Pursuit of Excellence is what I am going to try to explain tonight. So I have less than an hour to cover what goes on in 30 hours. I'm only going to pick a couple things. But there's people you can talk to about the experience, and they are here in the room. My belief is that there is 5 categories that we can put you in tonight. So some of you have just graduated or were assisting at the Pursuit of Excellence that just happened. Hands up or make a noise. You just were in the Pursuit of Excellence. Okay. That just finished. That just finished, on Sunday. Yeah. So they're you can see their eyes are wide open. They're looking kind of crazy. That's the Pursuit grads. The next group is you're in our 3rd course, the Advancement of Excellence. Let's see your hands. You're in the Advancement of Excellence. Okay. So they are a little more wily, more veteran-like. They've been around. The next group, we would just call you old grads. You're just old. No, you're just a grad. You're a graduate of their programs, and maybe you're not in one right now, but you come back because you like the energy. Is there any of those people here tonight? Yeah, there's a few of you. Awesome. The next group would be you have not done the courses yet, and you are wearing a red tag in comparison to the blue tags. Red tags mean I haven't done the course before. And where are my red tags at? Hands up. We're going to find you anyway. There you are. Awesome. And the last group, sometimes there's a 5th group that no matter what I ask, they're not putting up their hands. Where's that group? Oh, it's not here tonight. Very participatory. This is great. Why do we separate the tags? I am incredibly biased. Like, I love this stuff. This is my go-to. I think this should be in schools. It should be before you get married, you should do this course. I think before you get divorced, you should do this course. I think if you go to school or you're going to go back to school or any time in your life where something's going on, these courses should be available to you. So I'm incredibly biased. Other people who are wearing, say, blue tags, you can get an honest opinion from them. Like, what did you think? What did you get? Please ask. Tonight, my goals are you get all your questions answered. If you have any about these courses, please get them answered. You learn something, and you have fun. That would be awesome. And at the end, there will be a chance to sign up. If you hear things that you like and you want to do the Pursuit of Excellence, know that that's available to you back there. That's coming at some point. And finally, there's cake. Okay? The main reason a lot of people came tonight is for the cake. You get none of it at home, unless you make cake. But we have a lot of it here. In fact, if you're nearby, you should come because there's cake. So know that please don't leave without, Andrea bought this big cake and she would really hate if not all of us eat. So, cake later. Okay. So, let me tell you a little bit about why I'm up here. So, years ago I did the Pursuit of Excellence, in the mid-90s actually. And I came into a room like this. I was, in a word, I was fine. As in, everything was fine. How's life? Fine. How's the family? Fine. How's your job? Fine. Fine, fine, fine. That was my cap. That was the most I could be, was fine. And it seemed to be working. I mean, that's what all my friends were doing and my family was doing, and that's what I grew up in, and fine is fine. Except I felt like there had to be more. I saw other people doing more, having more fun, making more money, which was a big thing to me back then, having better relationships. And so I heard just enough that I was intrigued enough to go do the Pursuit of Excellence. So that was me many, many years ago, some 25 years ago. Fast forward, I'd say the biggest three things I got. One is I became a great dad. And I didn't know that's what I was going for, but I realized like that would be something I would be proud of. Something I could hang my hat on. I want to be a great father. And so I worked on that, and I can say many years later, my girls are now 28 and 26, and I ask them all the time, how am I doing? And I want to be held to that standard. My oldest just got married last weekend, and she said in her speech that I'm a great dad. I'm doing it. Thank you. I don't know about the youngest one. So now, she was there too, and she said something about great. The second thing I noticed, all my relationships went deeper. All of them, across the board. My friends went from, how's the weather, to, hey, what's going on for you? What are you going for? What do you need? How can I help? Where do you want to go? All my relationships went much deeper, and that continues to be today. And the final thing was around career. I went in about career. I was a laborer. Nothing wrong with a laborer. That's what I was going to be. That's what my education suggested. That's what my upbringing was. I'm going to be a laborer. And then I did the Pursuit of Excellence and realized I'm not a laborer. I'm an entrepreneur. And I didn't really know what that meant, but I stepped into that. And off I went, and I started businesses and failed, and businesses and failed, and started another one and failed. I failed 3 times. But on the 4th one, it worked. Something worked. Now, I think it was because of the pursuit I didn't stop. It was because of what I learned about myself. I may not have the greatest follow through, but I have some great ideas. And by the 4th time, I was able to hire enough people to come around behind me, clean up, and make this thing work, that I had a successful business. And through it all, I was able to build it and sell it. And I retired when I was 44 years old. Now, if you told a 24-year-old that was in these chairs that was going to happen, I'd say you're nuts. I don't even know what that is. Why I'm back here is I was doing what people do when they retire. I was on a beach, and someone asked me, "What's your secret?" And I thought about it for about 10 seconds, and I went, the Pursuit of Excellence. And when I got back here, I looked it up, and it was going, and I was like, how do I help? This has helped me, and I want to share that with people. So that's why I'm here tonight, talking to you about it. Now, everybody in this room who's wearing a blue tag is going to have a different experience, because this is not a cookie-cutter program, folks. This is about you. What do you want? And some of us never even ask ourselves that question. We just go with it, right? We do what we're supposed to do. And we move in the circles we're supposed to move, and we go to the job we're supposed to have. This is about taking a pause and seeing where you're at. Is this what you want to do? Is this the relationships you want and the depth you want? Is this the job you want? Are you on the path where you want to go? And ask yourself those questions. So that when you're in them, you're really in them. I realized a lot of my stuff I was just doing because I was supposed to do it. But to actually step in and go, this is what I want to do, there's a big difference between those two. Here's what I want to know about you. I actually want you to answer some questions. Now, I'm going to ask you to use some paper underneath your seats. This is for you. This is yours to take home. You never have to share this if you don't want to. But I'm actually going to ask you some questions. We're going to actually pause and think about our lives for a second. You can do this at home too. Any piece of paper will do. So there's a couple pieces there. I'm going to ask some questions. The first one is this. What do you want more of or less of in your life? So what you're going to do for 1 minute is just write down either plus for more of or minus for less of. What do you want more of or less of in your life? Let's hear some examples. I want
travel.
More or less.
More.
That would be weird if you said less. I want less. More travel. What else?
More money.
That's take two. It took us the second person today. This tells you a very advanced crowd. But yes, thank you. More money, less conflict.
More time.
More time.
More connection.
More connection. Okay. I want you to go. Just go to those places you haven't thought of for years. What do you want more of or less of? No right or wrong answers. Boom, get it on paper. Less thinking. More of, less of. Okay, and just get the last one down. You can do this at home, by the way. This is not dedicated to just this time. Just want your brain thinking. Okay, here's what I want you to do right now. On that list, there's the one. There's one that's more than the other ones. You know the one. And I want you to circle that one. I want more of or less of that thing. Pick one. And now I want to ask you this question. What difference would that make in your life? What difference would that make in your life? Let's hear some examples. If I had more of this or less of this, it would mean what? You don't have to say the thing. Just tell me what difference would it make in your life. Who's got an example? For instance, if I had more money, what difference might that make in my life? I might have more time to do whatever the heck I want. What else could more money mean? Yes?
If I had more happiness, I would feel more fulfilled.
More happiness, I would feel more fulfilled. Great. Okay, so that thing, if you had more or less of, it would make a difference in your life. Agreed? Or else, why'd you write it down? Right? So it's going to make a difference in your life. Here's what I want you to do is write this down in a couple of sentences. If I had this, what difference would it make? The feelings around it, the experiences around it, the people around it. What would it mean? And I want you to do it as if it's already happened. It's already happened. It can happen, it's happened. Tell yourself it's happened. Okay, remember, you can always do this at home. It's a fun exercise, by the way. Because who here feels better just thinking they have it or to have that thing? You feel a little bit better. They just feel like, oh, that's better. Okay, here's the next question. What's your commitment to that? 1 to 100. 1 is, I'm not going to do anything about it. 100 is, I'm going to run out the door when this is done and do something about it. 1 to 100. Your number. You get to pick. 100 is, it's happened. I'm going to make it happen. 1 is, I'm not going to do much. And the most interesting part of that whole exercise to me is your number. To me. Because it tells me about your belief system. What you think, what's going to happen. Those of you who put a lower number, what are some of the reasons why you know it's not really going to happen or it can't happen for you? Just yell out some. They could be fictitious. It might be a friend of yours would say. Like, I'm not smart enough, or I'm not ready. Anything else around that?
You can't let go.
I can't let go? I can't let go.
It'll never work out.
It'll never work out. These are starting to sound familiar. See, we all have a version of these voices at play, right? I'm not good enough. I'm not ready. It'll never work out. Things never like this happen to me. Just be intrigued. If I had to explain these courses, like what goes on, I'd say it just really comes down to this. If you change your thoughts, you will change your life. Change your thoughts, change your life. Because whatever you're thinking that's negatively holding you back, who's thinking that? You. And every one of us has our own version of it, but most of us have been stopping ourselves. So, I'm going to show you how to unstop yourself. There must be a better way to say that, but there's not right this second. This comes out, I don't know what's going to come out, that's what comes out. We're going to unstop ourselves. We're going to change our thoughts, change our life. The first thing we have to do is understand where these thoughts come from. Why do I have these thoughts? Why wouldn't we all just have amazing thoughts about ourselves? Well, because each of us, again, is quite different. And so, first thing I want to talk to you about is this idea of a comfort zone. Now, most of us have probably heard of what a comfort zone is or have a theory about it. But I want you to think about it tonight around the thing you say you want. So the real Coles Notes version of the comfort zone is we have decided, again, we have decided for myself, what's the most I'm willing to do, be, or have in any situation, any circumstance, around all kinds of things. What's the most and what's the least I'm willing to do, be, or have? Now, why didn't we set these ridiculously high? Well, we learned it from somewhere along the way. We learned it by watching others. We learned it when we were quite young. And then over time, some of our comfort zones have gone up. We've said, okay, I can have more. But the theory is that we just hang out here. This is comfortable, hence the name comfort zone. Not comfortable, not comfortable. So down here, below our comfort zone, exists this thing that helps us. So if we're heading this way, let's say around money, and we're just bleeding money, we're just throwing it away, and we don't even know what's going on, generally we'll hit a spot and go, hold on a second. Something's got to change. Anyone, I know no one in this room, but I've heard other people get low on money. They'll do some pretty radical things. Like what? What might you do? You're just like, my bank account is a negative. I don't know what to do.
Take another job.
I might get another job. Like,
School.
I might do anything to get me back here. And there's lots of examples of us doing this. I got to get comfortable again. And we do it around everything. It could be our bank accounts. It could be we walk by and look at ourselves in the mirror and go, what is this? No, this is not it. I got to do something. I'm going to start exercising next week. Because I'm not right now, but soon. Down here lives a very great motivator. Fantastic motivator. Anyone hear fear is a good motivator? Unfortunately, it's not overly healthy. But it works. You can scare yourself into doing lots of things. But unfortunately, it's a temporary situation and it has its costs. We are more interested in up here. In people who go outside of their comfort zone up here. Most of them tend to do the same thing, which looks like the absolute inverse of that, which is, oh gosh, this is really uncomfortable. I got to do what it takes here. So you might be in a relationship and things are going really well and I'm buying flowers and I'm coming home early and I'm cooking dinners and suddenly there's like don't know this. Some people, they can make it comfortable, but others, I'll do whatever it takes to bring it back down. This is not comfortable. And I can usually make it their fault if I'm really skilled. We don't teach that, of course. But it's a separate thing. What happens for most of us, this is out here. This is where our dreams, our hopes, our desires, that's where they live. They're the goals, the things that we say we want. And yet, we will continually sabotage ourselves to not get them. Well, why would we do that? That doesn't make any sense, does it? I mean, you guys don't, but other people do this. They just won't do what it takes to go get it. Because we have a built-in system. Right near the top here is where we kick in our reasons, excuses, our justifiers. And some of you listed them out when we were talking about why it can't happen. This never happens for me. This can't, I don't know anyone else's. My education, I don't have enough time, money, energy. I got these ones down pat. In fact, they're so down pat, they're running 24/7. You probably don't even recognize them anymore. They're just playing. And they're in very tricky voices, your own, telling you you can't do it. When you leave your comfort zone, when you actually go out for a minute, it can be a little bit scary. Anyone here have an example of going out of your comfort zone? Anyone jump out of a plane? Anyone ever happen? Was the first moment super comfortable? I'm going to guess no, from most of my experience. But what happens after the first moment? After you realize you've lived, right? You've done something big that most people don't do in their lives. But for a moment, everything's kicked in to say, don't leave this really safe plane until you let go. And now you're out of your comfort zone. So those of you who've done it, there's a better chance of you doing it again because you've upped your comfort zone. People who haven't done it, we still have lots of reasons, excuses, justified. But once you've done it, these kind of sound stupid. Like, well, yeah, I just did it. I can do it again. And so we leave our comfort zone and we go, okay, and then we can do it again, and we can do it again, and we can do it again. Until at some point our dreams, our hopes, our desires just are comfortable. When you move up the top, you move up the bottom. And you just create this new comfort zone. People say, oh, that sounds like, is that possible? I'm telling you, everyone in this room has done it. Does anyone remember your first paycheck? Your very first paycheck? Does anyone remember? You have to be older than 20. But does anyone can remember the number?
$35.
$35. Is that, it was your first paycheck?
Yeah.
And how'd you feel about that, Kevin?
Rich.
I'm rich. I'm rich.
I went on a date.
Right.
I brought all of it. I brought the whole 35.
I'm here we go. Because for Kevin and for most of us, at that point, that's comfortable. It's like, wow, $35. Just a guess, Kevin, if you got a check today for $35 in your comfort zone, no. You might forget to cash the check.
Yeah.
Right? You have moved your comfort zone up. You can do this in all areas, but only if you're aware. And the key thing that I think is really important is whose reasons, whose excuses, and whose justifiers are they? They're yours. And you have yours, and I have mine, we all have ours. Once you understand that they're not really helping you, you will start to realize you can go up. You can move up. It's possible. It's possible. Some of our favorite ones will get in the way in lots of different places. And these are tricky. Our comfort zone likes us to be comfortable. Its job is to keep us in it. Every time we leave it, we move up our comfort zone. It's a very exciting process. And you've all done it in different areas. That's one of the concepts that's important to know. Because it's important to realize on your journey, wherever you're going, what's getting in the way, why are you doing the things you're doing, and then change them. The most exciting part, I said, these are yours. You know what's exciting about that? You can do something about it. If they were somebody else's, it might be a problem. These are yours. You can change this as soon as you realize it's true. This is just one piece. there are lots of things that are stopping us. One is understanding our comfort zone and our willingness to leave the comfort zone. That number that you wrote down is an example of your willingness to leave your comfort zone. Comfortable is around 50. Those of you who went 90, that would be out of your comfort zone. Those of you who went 20, that might also be comfortable, but right near the bottom. Another thing we want to talk about is this idea of going for something. Say, I want something, and then not got that. Has anyone in their lives ever said, I want something, and then didn't get that thing? Is anyone else in this? And humans are here? Okay, because most people have had the experience of saying, I want this, and telling everybody I want this, but not necessarily getting that. Anyone have an example? Yell a couple of them. I want what? Or a wanted, or a friend of mine, because it's not you. How about?
Degree.
I want a degree. What else?
My own business.
I want my own business.
A new car?
I want a new car. So we have these things, and I know we didn't all yell. At home, they're probably yelling right now. Let's use a new business. I want to do my own business. Right? That's a big thing for a lot of people. I'm going to do my own business. I want it. I'm going to do it. Generally, right after we announce it, something kicks in. We would call these the red arrows. So we got this one big green arrow, but then we got the red arrow. So why shouldn't I start my own business? Fictitiously, what would be a reason?
Not enough money.
You know what? Takes a lot of money.
No time.
I don't have no time for that. Risk. You know the risk of starting a business these days?
The economy.
The economy is awful somewhere. So we go for this thing, then these start coming up. And then we find other people to help us with these, don't we? Right? Oh, you heard about Joe who started his own business? Right? Or hey, you heard the divorce that just happened because that's what happens when you have this. You shouldn't do it. Right? We love to attract this. We find these. But then we have these other ones that are even more damaging. And these are those reasons, excuses, justifiers. These are the things that you've been telling yourself for years. Nobody here, I know it. I'm not smart enough. I just nothing good ever happens for me. I'm not good enough. And the ones that are playing inside are really dangerous. These are bad. These are killers. And if you have all these arrows going this way and one big one going this way, what do you think the chances of this happening are? Slim to none. Okay, this is exactly what I was saying about goals. People, New Year's resolutions. Where's my New Year's resolution, people? Okay. Do you know what the latest stats are? Percentage that fail New Year's resolutions? 92%. Okay. 92%. Because I say I want this thing, and then on January 2nd, I start collecting evidence of why this thing isn't going to happen. Now, I'm going to come back to this. I don't want to depress everybody in the room. We're going to come back and show you how to turn these around. Okay? But know that if I just say it, it's just saying it. There's more we can do. Saying it's not a bad thing. But understanding what's stopping us is very important. The crux of our courses is based on this one piece. It's this idea of how we see the world is our context. It's how we see the world. Right now, you're all seeing me differently. And thank you for the ones who think I'm very handsome. I appreciate that. But you're all seeing it differently. He's tall, he's not that tall. His hair is blah, blah, blah. I don't like this shirt, I love this shirt. And so on and so on. He looks like my brother-in-law. I hate my brother-in-law, therefore. And on and on and on. And these are just going all the time. This is your context. This is how you see the world. So it's this belief that we all start with this pane of glass when we're born, and it's clear. And we just see what we see. It just is. But over time, we start to filter. And the filter comes from things like our beliefs, our opinions, attitudes, And over time, if we just let them go unchecked, they become the truth. Just the truth. What's a truth? Give me an example of a truth. You know, it's always this. Anyone have one they want to share?
Sky's blue.
The sky is blue. That is probably true. Okay? But internally, like, how about this? Men are terrible drivers. Like, is that a true statement? Some people are going to say yes to this, but that's just my truth. Right? If I believe that, every time I see an accident, I'm going to look for the man. There it is. I knew it. Another man driver. Can't trust them. If I don't see, I see two women in an accident, I'm going to go, a man must have taught them how to drive. I've got to be right. I've got to have the truth. The truth is. And this came from beliefs, opinions, attitudes. Now, I say it's yours, but it happened when you were really, really young. You started filtering this in. So whose do you think these are? Where did they come from? They mostly came from the people who raised you. Okay? And it can be your parents, it could be your caregiver, and it could be your teachers and your coaches and the people that were very early in your life where you started picking those up. Now I want you to think about it for a second. How's that sound for you? You want your parents and your teachers' beliefs, opinions, attitudes, and truth? I bet around some things you do. And around some things you don't. But you have now taken on this way of looking at the world. Men are, women are, money is, Vancouver is, housing is, Donald Trump is. I have no comment about it. So you have all of this going on. And then over time we get more experience just to build up the fact that the truth is the truth. And this is happening all the time. We just have data coming in all the time. Right now, some of you are doing about the temperature in here, the lighting in here, the size of the room. We are just making all kinds of judgments. Just the way that we see the world. And then we decide what that means. So we make a judgment. And there's nothing inherently wrong with judgments, by the way. They probably kept you very safe. Like, don't play in traffic is a good judgment. Right? Good one. That's why you're here. Excellent. It's the next steps that get us in trouble, or they help us. Because from there, we have our behavior. So we make a judgment, and then we have a behavior that goes with it. I like it, I go towards it. I don't like it, I move away from it. And finally, and probably the biggest thing that I think most people would agree get out of these courses is they change their results. If you like your results in any area, I'm going to suggest you have a really good context window. You have a really good idea about, let's say you're really successful financially. You probably have good thoughts about money. Or you have a great relationship. You probably have some really good thoughts around relationship. But there's areas where you don't have what you want. You have to realize this could be broken. This could be old. Another way to look at it, this is just software, people. This isn't hardware. You do not have to do anything. You don't have to think any which way. You can get an upgrade. What are we on now? Windows 10? Okay? Some of us are on Windows -6. Like we haven't updated. We haven't upgraded. We haven't defragged. We haven't done whatever people do. I'm sorry, computer people. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Chester's watching. You better be careful.
But when's the last time you upgraded your system? And how? What area should I do that in? Simple. Where don't you like your results? Where are you unhappy, unsatisfied with your results? Could just be you. See, what most people believe, and a lot of companies are built on, is if you don't like your results, just change your behavior. And can that work? Absolutely. Sometimes it can. This is dieting or an exercise program. I'm going to go to the gym. Can that work? Absolutely can. But it takes something that most of us have a very limited amount of, which is willpower and motivation. Because as we sleep, and the voices kick in, we start to listen to them again because we haven't changed or upgraded our system. So I went running the first day. It was awesome. I can't wait. And the second day, man, that alarm's pretty early. I did not know I had these bones, and they all hurt, and my muscles, and I didn't even know what that is. Maybe I'll sleep in today, but tomorrow I'm going to get back at it. And by Friday, running is a thing of the past because we haven't changed this. You can do this. This just takes work, way more work. For me, what I really liked about the course, the Pursuit of Excellence, was the beginning of realizing I don't have to work any harder. I just have to change. Change your thoughts, change your life. It's really about changing that. See, the thing about our minds, they don't know it's real. Sit with that for a minute. It's taking stuff in and making up stories all the time. Your minds don't actually know it's real. And I'll prove it to you. So, let's do it this way. If you want, close your eyes. If you are afraid of trickery, leave your eyes open. Okay? What I want you to do, eyes open or eyes closed, is pretend in front of you you have a lemon. A big lemon. Fresh, ripe lemon, ready to go. And you cut that open. As you cut it open, you see juice pouring off of this lemon. And I want you to take half of a lemon and bring it up to your mouth. And get ready, and now I want you to take a big bite of that lemon. And put the lemon back down. Now, what happened to your mouth? The majority of it. You can open your eyes. What happened to your mouth?
Saliva.
You created saliva. Okay? Some of you say, did I? Yeah, you did. You may not know this one. Your brain created saliva. Now here's the big update. There's no lemon. Look, there's no lemon. But somehow your mind thought there was. Now, it can't be that simple, except it could be. Now, my background is sports. And I now, with all my time, I coach young athletes. There's not an athlete out there that is at any kind of stage past house league that isn't doing visualization. Why do you think they're doing it? Why do you think Olympic athletes do visualization? Because it works. And so they do it at such an extreme that they see themselves winning and standing on the podium, and their friends and family have gathered the feeling of what that's like. And many athletes report, like, I've done this before. I've run this race. I've won this race before because I've already done it. Now, if it works for Olympic athletes and all the professional players, shouldn't we use that too? I'm going to do more proof at the end about how we can change our minds, how we can do more than what our minds are telling us. So there's so much more I could talk about, but at some point you're like, that guy talks a lot. So what we're going to do, no one disagreed. At home I hope you're typing in, no, Darren, we love this. But what I'm going to do is ask a graduate to come up and just share an experience of what came for her from doing the courses. So I'd like to introduce Tracy Purvis. Tracy! Tracy's in the current Advancement of Excellence. And can you tell us an example of stuff that's happened for you since doing the course?
Okay, yes, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity, Darren. So I did the Pursuit of Excellence last year, and then took the WAL, which is the second course this year, and I'm graduating from the Advancement on Saturday, 2 days from now. Loving it. I have been saying that the second course was my favorite, but I actually feel, while I'm thinking about it and reflecting tonight, that the first course really does lay the foundation, and the second course maybe is my favorite for some reasons, but this third course that I'm taking now really has I've hit the pavement, and so many things have happened for me that a couple of years ago my nursing career had to be put on hold, and I was left feeling that I wasn't as fulfilled as I had hoped to be. And so I came to the Pursuit of Excellence looking for fulfillment, and not knowing that that's exactly what would happen for me. And so with all the tools that I gained with the Pursuit, and then the second course, and now this third course, it has given me more than I could have even imagined that it would. I have, to put it in short, what has happened for me is I realized on my bucket list was to become an inspirational speaker. I'm living with a brain tumor, and I thought, how can I put living with a brain tumor and my nursing career into purpose, and how can I make that some part of my fulfillment? And so I got in touch with the TED Talk producer of Vancouver, and I submitted an application to be a speaker for his new event that he's putting on in October, and my application was accepted. And then, yes.
Yeah,
Very exciting. That was the end of the process, though. That just got me to the next step, which was then I need to audition. And so I hired a speaking coach that was through the process with this producer, and been working with a speaking coach through this course that I'm taking with the advancement, and with my team by my side, encouraging me along the way, and my coach has been amazing. And with Darren's help as well. And so I've been working on my script, and I graduate on Saturday, and then next Saturday is actually my audition to get one of these 10 spots for the event, which will be at the Vancouver Trade and Convention Center. I plan on being there. I plan on hitting the ball out of the park, and I really feel that with the Excellence series, that with all these tools, that it will happen. And that's my vision, and so far everything is manifested. So. That's what's happened for me. So thank you very much.
We only bring out the top grads to come and speak. So I forgot how much great stuff has happened when I asked them to speak. Yay!
There was lots of love coming up on the screen too for you.
Love.
Yeah.
Awesome. I want to go back, because I said I would, about changing these arrows around. Because we have all these stopping points that are stopping us along the way. And through our context window, realize that we've made up a lot of these arrows. And these ones that came from outside sources, that's them making stuff up too. See, if I have a belief about business in my context that it's hard and tough and business don't work, what do you think I'm going to see? I'm constantly walking around seeing out of business, oh, there's another one, right? Or reading in the paper, the economy's terrible there, oh, there it is again. But if we start to realize that's just my context, I can change my context. What if I decided I'm only going to go out and find positive stories of business? Could you do it?
Yes.
There is tons of them out there. And I start going, actually, my friend who said the economy's not very good, I just read an article that says it's never been a better time to have a business. Actually, that's going to work for me. And we start looking at some of these from other people and go, I don't know why I believe that guy or that person. That doesn't make any sense. And I can turn some of these around, but more importantly, I can look at these ones. These stories that I've been telling myself for a long, long time. Like I'm not good enough. And I can actually examine it and go, is that true? Or did that come from my grade 2 spelling bee when my teacher told me to sit down? And I just decided I'm not good enough. Because since then, I've had a lot of good things happen. And I just decide to look at it differently. And I can change this around and go, I have plenty of evidence that I am good enough. Especially when I put my mind to something. And we start going in and looking at these, and if we change enough of them around, what do you think the odds of it happening are? It's incredible, the difference. In fact, what we are saying, you just have to change 51%. We just need a momentum going this way for this to happen. Now, you may decide not to do it for other reasons. Like I've done all the work, and I know I'm not stopping myself, but actually I'm going to go do something else. That could happen, but I invite you to realize that the arrows, the things you're telling yourself that aren't going to help you, they aren't necessarily true. And the thing about changing your thoughts and changing your life, the context that we see the world through, this is about making the impossible possible. The thing that you wrote down earlier tonight that you may at some level go, that's impossible. If it's ever happened before, it's possible. In fact, some of the things have never happened before, they become possible. I use the example of Roger Bannister. Anyone know what Roger Bannister did? What he's famous for?
4-minute mile.
He was the first one to break the 4-minute mile. And back in 1956, this was considered impossible. All kinds of doctors and journals came out saying, don't do it. It's not possible. It can't happen. If they did it, they'd probably die. And this is a big thing. It was long before the internet and TV being a big thing in sports. Going to a race was a big thing, especially with this belief that it would never happen. And then one day it happened. Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile. How he did it? He changed everything. Changed his training, changed what everyone said he should do, he didn't do it. They all said it would have to happen on a perfect day. There could be no wind. It was raining and windy when he did it. Everything was against him and he did it. They've been keeping track for over 100 years. Nobody had done it. Then Roger Bannister does it. How long before the next person did it? Another 100 years, you think?
No.
46 days. This thing was impossible. Everyone knows the truth is it's impossible. But somehow John Landy over in Australia found out about it, because again, before the internet, and he's like, he did? And then he did. And he went out and did it. So this thing was impossible, and now 2 people made it's now possible. In the next 3 years, 16 people did it. What? That's crazy. It's impossible. Don't you all know? The truth is it's impossible, right until it's not. It's impossible for Darren to have been an entrepreneur. It's impossible. I don't even know what it means until I did it. And whatever the thing is that you're telling yourself is impossible, it could just be old belief system. This context window just needs to get updated. So, I just went over 3 tools of several tools that what we go over in the pursuit of excellence. Other ones like conflict resolution, for any of you who's ever had conflict. It's just nice to know there's a resolution. Breaking patterns, stress reduction. Anybody? That sound interesting? Stress reduction. Leadership style, the idea that not everyone's exactly like you, is a useful piece. So there's many, many tools. One of the last things I want to talk to you about is the people in the room. So these courses take place in rooms like this. The number varies depending on the time of the year. And inside of that are people, real live people, who are going through things that you may or may not relate to, but I think you'd be surprised at how human and how connected we all are. So just from blue tags around the room, who here learned something amazing from another participant in the room? It wasn't from the facilitator up front, something else somebody else was going through? Okay, I would suggest that most of the learning comes from watching other people and going, oh, that's how you do it. Oh, that's a real person doing real things. Oh, I can do that. The people are a huge part of these courses. For me, to make huge changes in my life, I had to start seeing it was possible. So the very best parents that I know of, that were just at the wedding of my daughter, by the way, I met in these courses. And I watched them. I'm like, what do you guys do? And I picked their brain. It's like, oh, okay, I can do that. The most financially successful person I know, I met in these courses. The best relationship I know to this day, I met at the Pursuit of Excellence. The most generous person I know, I introduced him to these courses. And so I get to see what he's doing in the world now. See, I believe the people will make the biggest difference in your life. Your results, if you're not happy with them, you need to change your context window. And you will also see that you may need to change the people around that you hang out with. If you want to change your money situation, I just invite you to look around the 5 people you spend the most time with and notice what the average income is. It's going to be really close to yours. In fact, a man named Jim Rohn said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Something to think about. And in these courses, there's some pretty amazing people. Okay. Let's talk about the logistics of the course itself. It goes on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It starts at 1 p.m. on Friday, and it goes 1 to 9, 9 to 8, 9 to 8. So it's full day Saturday, Sunday. Where does this happen? It actually happens right here in this room. The next one is September 21st to the 23rd with Kimberly Nonis will be leading. This is our big close. So I said there'd be a big close besides cake. So if you were to sign up tonight, we'll give you a bigger piece of cake. That's going to happen. And tonight, if you were to sign up instead of the $695, we think it's worth your time that you were here to take $100 off of that. So you get the same course for $100 less if you were to put a deposit down tonight. The most important parts of this course, besides all of the learning, is the risk-free element of this. One is this lifetime audit privilege. That means once you do the course once, you can come and do it as many times as you want to do it. So again, if this price is a little high for you, just come do the course 595 times, and then it's like $1, like a really good deal. My daughter has done this course 7 times, and she just comes when things change in her life. So when she changed schools, she did it again. When she changed her major, she did it again. When she changed her boyfriend, joking, I know you guys are happy. But when there's change in your life and you want to see the world again, like what's getting in my way? Come do it. Come do it. Come do it. It's available. And the last piece is what got me. I was sitting in your chair. I was like, okay, maybe, And then they told me this part, full tuition guarantee. What does that mean? Set the bar high. This is what I want. This is what I want out of this weekend. I want to know what's getting in my way. I want to go for these things I say I want. And if I don't get them, please get your money back. Please come get your money back. If you're not much clearer about what it's going to take for you to be a much more effective person, you should get your money back. That's it. There's no big, you don't have to go through big officers who, are explaining yourselves like, I didn't get what I wanted. Okay, here's your money back. And we've been offering that since we started, and it's just under 2% is the actual number that use it. And how easy is it? I know it's easy. How do I know it's easy? My mom did it. My mom got her money back. It wasn't for her. She came, she did say, lots. Yeah, it was great, but I want my money back. Okay, get your money back. So it can't happen as easy. So, the big close besides the money, I want to talk about the big 3 reasons most people don't sign up. Most people they think they don't have enough of one of 3 things. You know the big 3? Money, time,
energy.
and energy. Thank you. So I'm going to cover those because you'll notice that through your life, by the way. Those are the 3 that you usually throw out there. And people go, okay, oh yeah, I get it. It's too much time. Okay, oh, it's too much money. Oh, I don't have enough energy. I relate. But here we're saying, what if you did have? So for the energy people, let's ask the blue tags. Blue tags, you had a certain amount of energy 1 p.m. Friday when you did your course. Then you had a certain amount of energy at 8 p.m. Sunday. Who had more energy on Sunday at 8 p.m.? Just show of hands. These are not paid people. Okay. So if you want more energy, come do the pursuit of excellence. Time. This is 30 hours. Approximately 30 hours. These ending times are approximate. They won't go past that. I can't give you back your time. But here's what I noticed for me was I got better at prioritizing what was important to me. And suddenly I wasn't running all over the place, doing a whole bunch of things. I was very much on task. And suddenly I had more time. So if you want more time, come do the pursuit of excellence. And finally, the money part, it's $595. It's totally guaranteed to your standard. Not our standard. I'm now a financial investor. That's what I do. I invest in things. I've had some really good things happen to me, but I can say this in front of whoever's watching there and you people here, and I think if you asked a lot of the blue tags, they would say the same thing. This was the best investment I ever made in my life because I made it on me. And so all the things that have happened had a lot to do with that first investment. So financially, this was the best investment I ever made. Now, I had to borrow money to do the pursuit of excellence. That's where I was at in my life. Since then, I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on courses all over the world. Because I realized the more I kept investing in me, the more it came back. I had no idea that in the beginning. I took a big leap of faith to gather that kind of money together. But I can't imagine a better investment for me. I'd be happy to talk to you more about that, and please ask Blue Tag. Okay. That is around it, folks. The last thing I do want to tell you about is not only do we have the Pursuit of Excellence, we also have a Youth Pursuit of Excellence. So there is a flyer at the back. It's for 15 to 19-year-olds. My daughters both have done it. There's lots of kids who've done it in the room. There's lots I can tell you about it. Just know that that's available, and there's space available. It's the Canada Day, June 30th to July 2nd.
What's the age again on?
We are 15 to 19, born in 2003 or earlier. And what's really cool about it is that they go to camp and there's this stuff going on, and then they realize, oh, our parents aren't that weird, or we all have weird parents, one or the other. And they start looking at the world differently at a very young age. And like they're all this big, or whatever their height is. But at a younger age, I sure wish I had more of this. So there's rarely space available. I've been told that there is space available, so I'm supposed to mention it tonight for you at home as well. The cost of that is $495 plus room and board, which is $200. It's out in Langley at a beautiful spot called Springbrook, and $695 is your total. That's all their food, all in. That's their rooms. They stay overnight for 2 nights. Okay, so here's what's going to happen now. We have cake. Did I mention this? We have cake, and lots of it. So tonight's the night to eat cake. If you haven't got your questions answered, please ask. Don't leave here. You're already here. For those of you here, those of you at home, ask people, write in your questions. We will handle it, or call the person who told you about this. Please get your questions answered. Andrew's available for people who want more information, who want to sign up tonight. That's available to you. And in the end, I want to thank you for your attention and being here tonight, or not being here tonight, but tuning in tonight. Thank you all for your time, and have a great night. Thank you.